Rene, welcome to the Hockey News headquarters.
Thank you for the invitation. Happy and proud to be here.
Well, we love it when real hockey people come to the Hockey News and sit down and tell us what they're doing and tell us about their business and how they see the industry. So before I ask you some questions about that, I'd like to sort of just touch on who you are and where you started. I mean, a lot of people don't know that you started as a linesman or referee. You've done a lot of refereeing in these charity games because I know I've been on the ice when you were out there. So what's your background in hockey?
No, actually, I started as a player in my city. I'm in Fribourg in Switzerland. And at the age of 20, 21, actually, the general manager came to me and said, Rene, that's not enough. I mean, you should try to find another club. He wanted to relegate me to another club. So, and I said, it's not actually what I would like to do. So do you need a referee? You know, and I was a student at that time, and I started at the university. I'm a medical dentist, so it was a good opportunity to make some money, 25 Swiss francs per game. It was good pocket money for me. So, and I started actually to be a referee 10 years. I was 6 years in the top league in Switzerland. So the Swiss league, maybe you know, or the Canadian, maybe the Canadian people, their fans, they know that. We have actually a big arena in Bern with 17,000 people. So you go at the weekend and you make some games there. It was a fantastic experience as a referee.
So after you're done with the IIHF, you're going to return to being a referee. Is that your fallback job?
No, I will be too old. No, but it was really, for me, it was a good school. You know, you have to make the decision. You cannot just the fast decision, if it's good or not, but you have to take the decision. So even for my life as a dentist, you know, when you're in front of a situation where you really don't know what to do, you have to take a decision, not to wait too long. So I think that was my very good time to be on the ice with the guys, and especially on the top level. And that was nice.
And so you've gone from that to the head of the IIHF.
Oh, there is a lot
lots
of
in between.
There's lots in between, you know. And so in '81, I started to be the referee in chief because I was too busy with my dental practice. And actually, 3-4 years later, one of the guys, we had some problems in the Swiss Ice Hockey Federation. They had some problems with the money. Nobody wanted to be the president of the Swiss Federation. And they asked me, Rene, you should do that. I mean, 35 years old, young, never have a tie, only in blue jeans. And I said, oh, that's not really for me. But he said, Rene, you have to help. So I did it. And in my first or second Congress in Moscow, I had a big crash with Günther Sabetsky. He was the president at that time. And then the delegates actually put me on the council in '86 in Colorado Springs. I was in charge of the referees in the International Ice Hockey Federation. And then in 1994, I was elected in Venice. We were 7 candidates. And actually, I won the election at the end against a Finnish guy. So I was, with 44, I started to be president. So now it's 25 years.
Well, during the 25 years, the IIHF has grown. It's become more important. There's been bigger partnerships with the NHL and with Olympics. There's been so much that's been going on at IIHF. Yes. So when you started 25 years ago, did you sort of see this possible growth of the sport?
No, you know, when you do this thing, I think actually, when I was running for president, it was for sure for the game of hockey. I mean, being a ref, having this feeling for the game, and having the former president not really going in the new technology, on the new system to change a little bit the game. So I started to work with a very good team. You know, I cannot do very much alone. So it's like a hockey. You're in a team. You're a winger, a center, a defenseman, goalie. So you are part of the team. It's just to give the right direction where to go. And I must say the time was running so fast. As I said, it's over 24 years now. But thanks to the team and the people around me, we are now today with the game of hockey where it is. And I think it's it's rather good.
Yeah, it's very good. I think it's very good. I'm very biased, of course, but I think it's very good. I was at the game in Zurich where the Zurich Lions beat the Chicago Blackhawks. Remember that game?
Yeah, I remember.
Remember that game? That was an exciting time. I remember the crowd going completely nuts. They were like out of their mind excited. They beat them by like 3-1 or 4-2 or something. It was about them beat them by 2 goals or something. And I felt this incredible amount of energy in the people who were at the game, obviously, to beat the Chicago Blackhawks, the Zurich Lions, beating the Black, and they just beat them. Not only did they beat them, it wasn't a close game. It was like they beat them. And of course, I remember the Chicago Blackhawks saying they were jet lagged or something like that. But anyways, it was. Do you see that when the NHL interacts with European teams, that it lifts all hockey in Europe, and it's a good thing for European hockey?
Yes, Gary doesn't like it. I mean, that's why he doesn't like really the idea to have the Stanley Cup winner against a potential European Cup or European League winner, as there is some prestige that if you lose just more than just a game, and at the end it's just a game, nothing more. And you remember maybe the 72 series?
Sure.
So I mean that was actually the start in between the European and North American hockey, Canadian hockey, Soviet Union. So the 72 series, it's very interesting is that Vladislav Trečak told me one day, he said, Rene, you know what? The 72 series, they are so big and so important because of the Canadians they won. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if we would win that game? In Canada, nobody would speak about that. I mean, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. But it was so close. And this, actually that's the beginning of the, how do you say, maybe the competition in between North America and Europe. And I would like to continue with that. We should really, I spoke many times with Gary about that. And Gary has maybe too much to lose, then we have to win, or we have to lose. So, and I can understand that, but never forget, it's a game. It's a moment of sport. So the Chicago Blackhawks losing against Zurich, you played 10 games or even 20, they will maybe lose one. Right. And it was exactly this one. But this one, losing this one was so important for the fans of Zurich and the fans in Switzerland, in Europe. And this little emotion, this very special thing, that gives that momentum and that moment the fans they love. That's why we have the best game in the world, because of this. Mm-hmm.
So you see, and you're a proponent, of course, of more international play between NHL players, Olympics, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. I was at we met in Vancouver in 2010, the Olympics there, and it was a very good showing. It was a very, I think hockey really
at its best, yeah.
Yeah, it was at its best. There was nothing better than that, women's and men's. Do you see a time when that will become the norm, or is it going to be a renewed conversation every 4 years?
Yeah, you should ask Gary.
I will.
And on what they do. So it's, but it is like it is. So we have also actually at the end I accepted the situation. We have to accept it. Mm-hmm. Actually, sport is a little bit different than we have in Europe. Mm-hmm. I mean, here sport is business. Yeah. Before the sport, this is business. Mm-hmm. The dollars, mm-hmm. And that's why we have the CBA. I mean, the players protecting their rights, why not? Mm-hmm. And then the owners protecting their rights too. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, it's just a question of dollars and numbers and figures. So we have a different approach. I mean, I personally have a different approach to sport. Mm-hmm. Before sport is money, for me, this is emotion. It's fun. It's to be disappointed, to have the great moments, to have this at the moment, when you score a goal, you win. Look at Vancouver, I mean, the final, the winning goal scored by Sidney Crosby. Yep. It was just lightning whole Canada, bum, Yep. And this is unique. You have not a lot of things in a human being or in a situation like this where you can, one country, like bang, maybe a nuclear bomb.
Yeah,
that's not the good example, but you see what I mean.
Sure.
This is the power of sport. This is the power of our game, because we have the best game.
The German team doing so well at the last Olympics, did that spark interest in corporate sponsors, business opportunities? Did you
In Germany?
In Germany, or because I would imagine in Germany it might, but other countries it might not have such an impact.
You know, I'm more interested in, okay, you're interested in sponsors or corporate sponsor, I mean, the financial side. I'm more interested to bring young boys and girls to the game of hockey. So I'm 100% sure that with this momentum we had in Pyeongchang, in Germany, we had so many TV spectators, you know, and the time zone was not really good, but bringing the young boys and girls to the game of hockey, this is our first goal then to get
Sure.
to get the bucks.
Well, that's the principal reason for the IIHF being in existence, is to grow the game, get more participants. Is that it? Grow the game.
Yeah, you know, and on one side we have the NHL, where we have la crème de la crème. You know, we have 800, 900 players here, the top of the top, and then we are on our side. We do the development, we do the education, and actually we do that with the volunteers. So, how many moms, dads, and grandpas and grandmas are bringing the boys and the girls to the hockey ring, and especially here in Canada and also in everywhere in Europe where they play hockey. I mean, without this big part of the people, you know, the NHL would not exist. So thanks to this, we have this, and that's okay. We need the balance there. So okay, I think the NHL could help a little bit more for that. I mean, coming to the Olympics gives this special momentum where we need to bring young boys and girls to the game of hockey. And but okay, sometimes my friend Gary thinks too much about the money than about the development.
Well,
But that's his job.
that's his job.
Yeah.
Right. Where do you see the game of hockey in Europe in 5-10 years from now?
I'm so happy. I mean, that's a good point what the NHL decided in 2005 to change a little bit the rules, so that today we have a safer game. We have a much better game, faster game. It's very attractive. So I think we will continue on the same way. Somebody told me one day that every 5 years we have a change of our game a little bit, you know, adjusting the rules. So I think in Europe what we need to do is to go and make a smaller ice rink. You know, I said that many times. My genetical code is Olympic size.
Yeah,
You know, there was a big
right.
fight against the Europe and North America.
Sure, 100 by instead of 85.
Yeah, we have 30 meters on 60, and you have 26. So after Vancouver, I must say I changed my mind.
Oh, really?
I changed. I mean, it was very tough. Not easy to change. You know? I had to change. But, you know, for the juniors, when we play the under-20 in Canada, it's so much better
Really?
than in Europe. The women's game is so much better on the small ice. And also on the small ice now with the man, the skills are so much better. The guys are so much better on the ice. For the spectators, I would say it's a better game.
So what about the KHL size? Because that's a little bit in between the Olympic size and the
Yeah,
NHL
they
size.
try to. They also try, but you know, it's not an easy decision to make. So it's also money-wise, you know, to change. But we should go slow. At least we should start to build arenas where we have the 28 or 26.
Do you think that the KHL has, I mean, it's been now around for almost 10 years, I believe, KHL now. They just celebrated their 10th, I think, anniversary. So has that had a good, does it have a good impact on hockey overall for the game?
For sure, I think we need in Europe some kind of European league to be in competition with the NHL. And I do not like the idea of the NHL coming to Europe. I said one day only over my dead body. And I still saying this, you know, let us European to build our system in our culture. Let the NHL be like it is. We will never, they have the 100 years history. They have the best arenas. They have the billions. They have the fans. That different.
Right.
And we should be on our European way of thinking and doing our game. And why not to come sometimes and we Europeans go and gonna kick you in North America. So I'm a dreamer of the Riders Cup hockey.
Right.
So say Batman's Cup,
Right.
where we could have the European fan with the North American fan and compete, and then this gives this emotion, and yeah, this is how it is.
So the Hockey News, 55% of the readers are in Canada and about 45 are in the United States. So it's really a North American magazine. We get 1.8 million people to our website. This is really for these are hockey fanatics. These are the real, true hockey crazy. And I say hockey crazy in a good way because I'm also hockey crazy. What would you like to, as a final parting little message here, what would you like to tell the 1.8 million hockey crazy North American fans? What don't they know about European hockey and what they should know?
The best brand in hockey is the NHL, period. And this is no doubt. And then actually, if I was reading the Hockey News when I was younger and not so much involved, for me it was something special, because this is actually the brand.
Yeah, we're covering more European hockey. You can see that we spend more time featuring and doing stories on European players.
Playing in the NHL.
Playing in the NHL, but we are also expanding the coverage of European hockey in Europe as well. We're telling more stories.
We have not the Hockey News here. We have similar papers.
Right.
And Slapshot in Switzerland. So in every country has the main challenge we have, or you will have in Europe. We have so many different languages. So you have only one language. Pardon, encore le français in Québec.
Right.
So don't forget my friends from Quebec.
Yes.
So
I'm from Quebec. Yes.
Alors, faut pas oublier ces gens-là. But you have actually one language. Is the English language. So it's much easier. So you have Sweden, Finland, Czech, or Russia. Boom, 4 languages.
Right.
Okay, and then you have the Germans. With Germany and part of Switzerland, still have France, and still English.
I think there's 4 languages in Zurich.
We have 4,
right?
yeah.
There's 4. Yeah. Well, we're going to do a digital version, so it'll be a lot cheaper to do instead of print issue for different languages. But Rene, thanks for coming by the Hockey News offices.
Thank you for inviting me.
And much success, and we'll see you again here soon. Okay.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.